The red lights flashed across the bridge of the Altarian flagship. Admiral Kyle stood watching the stars through the big window. His blue skin looked darker in the red warning light. Something was wrong. "Sir!" Commander Yuki ran onto the bridge. Her breathing was fast and her eyes were wide with fear. "We have a problem! A big problem!" Kale turned around. Yuki was the smartest person he knew. She studied alien races for the military. If she was scared, everyone should be scared. "What is it?" Kyle asked. Yuki put a small device on the table. A blue light came out of it. Pictures appeared in the air. They showed star maps and ship readings. "Long-range sensors picked up these signals," she said. Her voice was shaking. "They're coming from the edge of our space, moving toward the Kepler system." Kale looked at the pictures. He saw the shape of ships, big ships, very big ships, but he did not understand why Yuki was so afraid. "Are they Nexari ships?" he asked. "The Nexari were their enemies in this war." But Yuki shook her head. "No, sir. They're not Nexari. They're not Vorthak either." She touched the device. The pictures changed. Now they showed a close look at the ships. "Sir, these are human ships." The bridge went quiet. Every alien on the bridge stopped what they were doing. They all looked at Yuki. Then they looked at Kale. "Are you sure?" Kale asked. His voice was quiet now. "Yes, sir. The computer checked 3 times. Those are human battleship signals, a whole fleet of them, and they're coming here." Captain June walked over to them. He was Kale's best fighter. Nothing scared him. But now his face was pale. "How long do we have?" June asked. Yuki looked at her readings again. 3 days, maybe 4 if they stop to refuel." Kyle felt cold. Everyone in the galaxy knew about humans. They were the most dangerous fighters in space. Other races fought for land or money or power. Humans fought for things no one else understood. And when they fought, they never stopped. "Call a meeting," Kyle said. "Get all the ship captains. Get the Nexari and Vorthak leaders too. Right now." "Sir?" June looked confused. "We're at war with them." "Not anymore," Kale said. "Not if the humans are coming." 2 hours later, the main meeting room was full. Altarian captains sat on one side. Nexari officers sat on another side. The Vorthak mystics floated in their special chairs. Everyone looked nervous. Captain Mina was the first to speak. She was young, but very smart. "Why did you call this meeting? We were winning against the Nexari yesterday." "Because yesterday the humans were not coming," Kyle said. He turned on the big screen. It showed the same pictures Yuki had brought him. "Look at this." The room went very quiet. Some of the Nexari started to shake. The Vorthak mystics made low humming sounds. They did this when they were afraid. "How do we know these readings are real?" asked Captain Dong from the Nexari. "This could be a trick." Yuki stood up. "I checked everything. The computer checked everything. These are real human ships. Big ones. Warships." "Why would humans come here?" asked Captain Bin from the Vorthak. "This is not their space." June touched the controls. The screen showed pictures of the planet they were all fighting. "Over. Kepler 442b was a green world with lots of water. It had cities and farms. But more important, it had mines full of rare metals." "Maybe they want the planet," June said. "No," said an old Vorthak mystic named Elder Nara. She was very old and knew many things. "Humans do not fight for money or land. They fight for things that matter to them. Things we do not understand." "What kind of things?" Mina asked. Elder Nara closed her eyes. "I was young when the humans first came to our part of space. I saw what they did to the Korvash Empire. Everyone knew that story. The Korvash had been a big, powerful empire. They had thousands of ships and ruled over many planets. Then they made the humans angry. No one knew exactly what they did. But in 6 months, the Korvash Empire was gone. All their ships were space dust. Their planets were empty. The Korvash thought they were safe," Elder Nara continued. "They had more ships than the humans. Better weapons, too. But humans fight different than us. They don't stop. They don't give up. They turn their own ships into weapons. They crash them into enemy fleets at light speed." A Nexari captain made a scared sound. "That's crazy. Who crashes their own ships?" "Humans do," Elder Nara said. "And they smile when they do it." Kale stood up. "We need to stop fighting each other. Right now." If the humans are coming, we need to work together. Work together? Captain Dong laughed. We've been killing each other for months. Better than being killed by humans, Yuki said. The room was quiet again. Everyone thought about this. What do you want us to do? Asked Captain Bin. First, we stop all fighting, Kyle said. No more attacks, no more battles. Second, we need to find out why the humans are coming. Third, we need to be ready to run away very fast. Run away? Captain Mina did not like this idea. We're warriors. We don't run away. From humans we do, said Elder Nara. Trust me on this. June brought up new pictures on the screen. They showed the human ships again, but now the computer had made them bigger so everyone could see them better. The ships looked wrong. They were not smooth and pretty like Altarian ships. They were not clean and shiny like Nexari ships. They looked like flying rocks covered in guns. Lots and lots of guns. Look at the size of those weapons, Captain Dong said. What do they need guns that big for? For killing things that are very hard to kill, Yuki said. The ships look old, Mina said. And damaged. That makes them more dangerous, Elder Nara said. Old human ships have been in many battles. They learned from each fight, and if they're still flying, it means they won. Kyle made his decision. We evacuate the planet. Everyone. All civilians, all military, everyone. That will take days, Captain Bin said. Then we better start now, Kyle said. Captain Dong stood up. The Nexari agreed to this plan. We will help evacuate. The Vorthak will also help, said Elder Nara. As the meeting ended, everyone started making plans. Ships would go to the planet. They would take all the people away. The military ships would stay to watch for the humans. But as they worked, everyone had the same thought. Would 3 days be enough time? And what would the humans do when they arrived and found an empty planet? Yuki stayed on the bridge as the other ships started moving. She watched the sensors. The human ships were still coming, still getting closer. Sir, she said to Kyle, I keep thinking about something. What? Why are the humans coming here? Elder Nara was right. They don't fight for money or land. So what do they want with Kepler 442b? Kale did not have an answer, but he had a bad feeling that they would find out very soon. On the screen, the human ships kept moving toward them, getting closer every hour, bringing with them the most dangerous force in the galaxy, and somewhere on those ships, humans were getting ready for war. Elder Nara floated in her special chair in the middle of the meeting room. All the alien leaders sat around her. She was the oldest being any of them had ever met. Her skin was pale blue, and her eyes glowed with a soft light. When she spoke, everyone listened. You want to know about humans? She said. Her voice was soft, but everyone could hear it clearly. I will tell you what I know, but you will not like it. Captain June leaned forward. We need to know what we're facing. Elder. Nara closed her eyes. I was young when humans first came to our galaxy. They arrived in ships that looked like they were built by children. Ugly ships. Rough ships. We thought they would be easy to defeat. She opened her eyes and looked at each alien in the room. We were wrong. Very wrong. Commander Dong touched his tablet. I have files about human wars. Military intelligence has been watching them for years. Pictures appeared on the big screen. They showed human soldiers in thick armor. The armor was black and covered with weapons. The soldiers looked like walking machines. Humans are different from us, Dong continued. We evolved to be smart. Or fast. Or strong. Humans evolved to hunt. They never give up. They never stop chasing their prey. But surely they can be reasoned with, said Captain Mina. All intelligent life can be reasoned with. Elder Nara made a sad sound. I thought the same thing once. During the War of Three Suns, my people tried to make peace with the humans. We sent our best diplomats. We offered them money, land, even some of our technology. What happened? Asked Yuki. The human commander listened to our offer. Then he said something I will never forget. He said, You killed my people. Now I will kill all of your people. Nothing you can give me will change this. The room went quiet. Outside the windows, ships were moving back and forth. The evacuation had started. But that's not reasonable, Captain Bin said. War should have rules. Limits. Humans don't follow our rules, said Commander Dong. He brought up new pictures. These showed human battleships attacking enemy fleets. Look at this. The pictures were hard to watch. Human ships crashed into enemy vessels at incredible speed. The crashes created huge explosions that destroyed everything nearby. They use their own ships as weapons, Dong explained. They call it ramming speed. Most of the human crew dies when they do this, but they do it anyway. Why? Asked Mina. Why would they kill themselves? Because it works, said Elder Nara. One human ship can destroy 10 enemy ships by crashing into them. Humans think this is a good trade. Captain June studied the pictures. Their ships are built for this. Look, at the front parts. They're made to punch through armor. Every human ship is a weapon, Dong agreed. Even their medical ships have guns. Even their supply ships can fight. Yuki brought up new files on her tablet. I've been reading about human biology. Did you know they heal very fast? A wound that would kill us in days, they recover from in hours. They're also very strong, added Dong. A human soldier can lift 3 times what an Altarian can lift. And they can keep fighting even when badly hurt. Elder Nara nodded slowly. During the war, I saw a human soldier with a broken arm and 2 broken ribs. He was bleeding badly, but he kept fighting for 6 more hours. He only stopped when all the enemies were dead. How is that possible? Asked Captain Bin. Pain doesn't stop them the way it stops us, Elder Nara explained. We feel pain, and we want it to end. Humans feel pain, and they get angry. And angry. Humans are the most dangerous things in the galaxy. Commander Dong showed them more pictures. These were of human weapons. They looked simple but deadly. Human weapons are built to break things, he said. Not just hurt them. Break them completely. Look at this gun. The picture showed a rifle that looked bigger than most aliens could carry. This weapon fires metal bullets at very high speed. But that's not all. The bullets explode after they hit something, and the explosion releases acid that eats through armor. That's horrible, said Mina. That's humans, said Elder Nara. Captain June asked the question everyone was thinking. How do we fight them? The room went very quiet. Elder Nara looked at each alien leader. You don't, she said finally. You run away. You hide. You pray they don't find you. There must be a way, insisted June. Every enemy can be defeated, Elder. Nara shook her head. Let me tell you about the siege of Vega Station. The humans were attacking a Corvash fortress. The fortress had shields that could stop any weapon, walls that were 10 meters thick, food and water for years. She paused to let this sink in. The humans could not break the shields, could not break the walls, so do you know what they did? What? Several aliens asked at the same time. They waited. For 2 years, they just sat outside the fortress and waited. They attacked every ship that tried to bring supplies. They shut down every escape pod. They just waited. What happened to the fortress? Asked Yuki. After 2 years, the people inside ran out of food. They sent a message saying they would surrender. The humans sent back one word. No. The aliens looked at each other with horror. The humans waited until everyone in the fortress died. Then they blew it up anyway. Just to make sure. Captain Dong brought up another file. According to our intelligence, humans have a saying. The only good enemy is a dead enemy. They also have another saying, added Elder Nara. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. They never stop trying to win. Captain Bin was shaking his head. This doesn't make sense. How did they become so powerful? They're just one race among thousands. Because they work together, Elder Nara said. We fight each other over small things. Humans unite when someone threatens any of them. Attack one human world, and all human worlds will come to help. Commander, Dong nodded. Their military is completely connected. Every ship can talk to every other ship instantly. Every soldier knows what every other soldier is doing. And they learn from every battle, added Elder Nara. If you use a weapon against them and it works, they will build better armor. If you use a strategy that hurts them, they will find a way to stop it. Yuki looked at her readings again. The human fleet is still coming. They'll be here in less than 3 days now. How many ships? Asked June. At least 50. Maybe more. Elder Nara closed her eyes again. 50 human battleships. That's enough to destroy our entire combined fleet. We have over 200 ships, protested Mina, and the humans have 50 ships designed to kill things much bigger than ships, Elder Nara replied. Captain June stood up. Then we need to evacuate faster. How many people are still on the planet? Dong checked his tablet. About 3 million civilians, plus military personnel. We need more ships, said Bin. We need more time, said Mina. We need a miracle, said Elder Nara. As the meeting ended, each alien leader went back to their own fleet. They all had the same job now. Get their people away from this place before the humans arrived. But as they worked, they all wondered the same thing. Would running away be enough? Humans were known for chasing their enemies across the galaxy, and they never forgot who their enemies were. On the planet below, millions of people were packing their lives into small bags. They looked up at the sky and saw the ships coming to take them away. But they didn't know that somewhere in space, human battleships were also coming, and those ships carried death for anyone who got in their way. The evacuation continued, but everyone knew that time was running out. The evacuation ships filled the sky above Kepler 442b like metal clouds. Captain Sue stood on the bridge of her transport ship watching the organized chaos below. Millions of people were leaving their homes, taking only what they could carry. How? Many more loads? She asked her crew. 15 more trips, answered her pilot. Maybe 20 if we pack people tight. Sue looked at her watch. 2 days left before the humans arrived, maybe less. Down on the planet, Dr. Hana was doing something different from everyone else. While others packed food and clothes, she was in the old ruins studying ancient stone tablets. She was a Nexari scientist who studied dead civilizations. Doctor, we need to go, her assistant called. The transport leaves in 1 hour. Wait, Hana said. She was looking at symbols carved into a large stone wall. These markings, they're not from the people who lived here recently. She took pictures with her scanner. The symbols were very old, much older than the buildings around them. Doctor, please. Her assistant was getting scared. The humans will be here soon, but Hana was reading the symbols now. Her scanner had translated them into her language. What she read made her skin go cold. New Busan Colony, she whispered. Founded by Earth ship Morning Star, year 2387 of the human calendar. She dropped her scanner. This was a human world. The humans had been here first. Get me a communication. Link to the fleet, she said quickly. Right now. Admiral Kale was on his flagship watching the evacuation when Hana's call came in. Sir, this is Dr. Hana on the surface. I need to speak with you immediately. Make it fast, Doctor. We're busy. Sir, I'm in the ruins we've been mining for rare metals. These aren't alien ruins, sir. They're human ruins. The bridge went quiet. Admiral Kale sat down heavily in his chair. Are you sure? Completely sure. I found settlement records. This was a human colony called New Busan. It was founded over 400 years ago. Commander Yuki grabbed the communication device. Doctor, is there anything else? Any clues about what happened to the colony? I'm still looking, Hana said. But sir, there are graves here, thousands of them, all human graves. Admiral Kale felt sick. They had been mining a human cemetery for months, taking rare metals from the ground where humans were buried. Doctor, get off that planet right now, he ordered. Sir, I need a few more minutes. I think I can find out what happened here. Dr. Hana, said Elder Nara's voice over the communication. What do the graves tell you? They all have the same date of death, Hana replied. All of them died in 1 day. The same day. What day? Asked Yuki. According to human calendar, the day the colony was attacked by unknown alien forces. The bridge was completely silent now. Every alien there understood what this meant. We killed them, Admiral Kale said quietly. Our ancestors killed these humans. Not us specifically, said Elder Nara, but some alien race did, and now the humans have found their lost colony. Captain June activated the fleet communication system. All ships, this is an emergency. The planet below is a human memorial site. We have been accidentally mining human graves. The response was immediate. Every alien captain started talking at once. Some were angry, some were scared. All of them understood they were in terrible trouble. They're not coming here to conquer, realized Yuki. They're coming here to reclaim their dead. Doctor. Hana's voice came over the communication again. Sir, I found something else. There's a message carved into the central monument. What does it say? Asked Kale. Here lie the brave souls of New Busan Colony. They died defending their new home from alien invaders. They will be avenged. Will be avenged, repeated Elder Nara. This is not just a colony site. It's a promise of revenge. Captain Sue called in from her transport ship. Sir, we have a problem. The human fleet just appeared on our long-range scanners. They're moving faster than we expected. How much time do we have? Asked Kale. 6 hours, maybe 8. 8 hours? June looked panicked. We need at least 20 hours to finish the evacuation. Admiral Kale made the hardest decision of his life. All military ships stop evacuation duty. Form defensive positions around the remaining transports. Sir, Captain Mina called from her ship. Defensive positions? Against humans? We're not going to fight them, Kale explained. We're going to try to buy time for the civilians to escape. Captain Bin from the Vorthak fleet spoke up. Admiral, with respect, humans don't care about civilians. They will attack anyone in this system. Then we'll have to make them listen, Kale said. Elder Nara floated closer to the communication panel. Admiral, I must tell you something. In all the wars I have seen, humans have never been reasoned with once they decide to fight. Then what do you suggest? Asked Kale. Pray, she said simply. Down on the planet, Dr. Hana was still studying the ruins when her assistant ran up to her. Doctor, look at the sky! Hana looked up. She could see flashes of light in space, ships arriving, big ships. The humans? She asked. Yes, and they're already deploying fighters. Through her scanner, Hana could see the human ships. They were just as ugly and dangerous as everyone said. But there was something else. Something that made her scientist mind curious, even while her body was terrified. The ships looked angry. That made no sense. Ships were just machines. But somehow these ships looked like they were furious about something. Doctor, we have to go right now. Her assistant grabbed her arm. But Hana looked back at the monument one more time. Wait, there's more writing here. She scanned the additional text quickly. What she read made her understand everything. The aliens who did this were never found. Justice was never served. But someday we will return to this place, and we will make sure our dead are properly honored. She understood now. The humans weren't just angry about aliens being on their old colony. They were angry because someone had disturbed their memorial site. Someone had been mining the graves of their ancestors. We're not just trespassers, she whispered. We're grave robbers. Up in space, Admiral Kale watched the human fleet deploy. Fighters were launching from the big ships. The fighters moved in perfect formation, like a school of deadly fish. Admiral, called Captain June, should we launch our own fighters? No, said Kale. We try to talk first. He opened a communication channel to the human fleet. Human vessels, this is Admiral Kale of the Allied Fleet. We request immediate communication. The response came quickly. A human voice, cold and hard. Alien, vessels, you have 30 minutes to explain why you are in the New Busan Memorial System. After 30 minutes, we will consider all alien ships hostile. 30 minutes, repeated Yuki. That's not much time. It's more than I expected, said Elder Nara. Admiral Kale began composing the most important message of his life. Everything depended on the next 30 minutes. The lives of millions of civilians, the survival of 3 alien fleets, maybe even the future of their entire civilizations. And somewhere on those human ships, warriors were preparing for battle. Warriors who thought the aliens had come to desecrate the graves of their ancestors. The clock was counting down. 30 minutes to prevent a war that would destroy everything. The human fleet dropped out of hyperspace like thunder made solid. Admiral Tay stood on the bridge of the massive battleship Soul's Hammer, watching the alien ships scatter before her fleet. Her dark eyes were cold as space itself. Status report, she commanded. 57 alien vessels in system, reported Commander Ray. Multiple species. They appear to be evacuating the planet. Evacuating? Admiral Tay's voice was dangerous. Why would they evacuate unless they know they're guilty of something? The Bridge of Souls hammer was dark and efficient. Every surface was covered with weapons controls. Every screen showed different ways to destroy enemies. This was not a ship built for exploration or trade. This was a ship built for war. Admiral called Captain Wu from his station. "We're receiving communication requests from the alien fleet." "Ignore them for now," Tay said. "I want to see what they've done to New Busan first." The main screen lit up with images from the planet below. What Admiral Tay saw made her jaw clench with fury. The memorial sites had been torn open. Mining equipment sat where human graves should be. Sacred monuments were covered with alien machines. "They've been mining the cemetery," she said quietly. But everyone on the bridge heard her, and everyone knew that quiet voice meant someone was about to die. "Shall I launch the planet crackers?" asked Commander Ray. Planet crackers were the most feared weapons in the human fleet. They were designed to break apart entire worlds. Usually, humans only use them on empty planets. But sometimes they use them on planets that deserve to be destroyed. "Not yet," Admiral Tay said. "First, I want to hear what these grave robbers have to say." She turned to Captain Wu. "Open a channel to the alien fleet." Captain Wu pressed buttons on his control panel. "Channel open, Admiral." Admiral Tay's voice went out across space to every alien ship. Her words were calm, but everyone could hear the anger underneath. "Alien vessels, you have 30 minutes to explain why you are in the New Busan Memorial System. After 30 minutes, we will consider all alien ships hostile." On the alien flagship, Admiral Kyle was composing his response. He knew he had one chance to prevent a war. "Human fleet. This is Admiral Kale. We did not know this was a memorial system. We thought it was an abandoned world. We are evacuating all personnel and will restore any damage we have caused." Admiral Tay listened to this message. Then she turned to Commander Ray. "Ray, bring up the files on New Busan Colony." The screen changed to show old human records. Pictures of families, children playing, farmers working in fields. Then the pictures changed to show the attack. Burning buildings, bodies in the streets, mass graves. New Busan Colony was founded in 2387. Commander Ray read from the files. Population, 50,000 humans. They were all killed in a single day by alien raiders. The raiders were never identified. Admiral Tay studied the alien ships on her screen. Could it have been any of these species? Possibly the Altarians, Ray said. Their ancestors were known for raiding human colonies. "Admiral," called Captain Wu, "the alien leader is requesting a face-to-face meeting. Put him on screen." The front of the bridge lit up with an image of Admiral Kyle. He was blue-skinned and looked tired. Behind him stood other aliens from different species. "Human Admiral," Kyle said. "I am Admiral Kyle. We have made a terrible mistake. We did not know humans had ever lived on this planet." Admiral Tay stared at him. "You didn't know? The entire planet is covered with human ruins, human graves, human monuments. How could you not know?" "The ruins were very old," Kyle explained. "We thought they were from an extinct alien species. We have been mining rare metals from the ground?" "Mining metals from a cemetery," Admiral Tay said. Her voice was getting colder. "Do you know what humans do to people who disturb our dead?" Admiral Kale looked nervous. "We will make full repairs. We will return any artifacts we have taken. We will pay compensation." Compensation? Admiral Tay almost smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "What compensation can you pay for 400 years of disrespect to our ancestors?" An old alien floated forward on the alien ship's screen. She had pale blue skin and glowing eyes. "I am Elder Nara," she said. "I remember when this colony was destroyed. My people were not involved, but I know the pain this has caused humans." Admiral Tay studied the old alien. "You remember New Busan?" "I remember the day the news reached our space," Elder Nara said. 50,000 humans killed by raiders. Your people swore they would find the killers and make them pay." "And we always keep our promises," Admiral Tay said. Commander Ray stepped forward. "Admiral, should I deploy the fleet?" Admiral Tay thought for a moment. Around her ship, 56 other human battleships waited for orders. Each ship carried enough weapons to destroy a city. Together, they could turn the entire system into cosmic dust. "Tell me something," Admiral Tay said to the aliens. "How long have you been mining here?" 6 months, Admiral Kale admitted. 6 months of digging up human graves for profit. Admiral Tay's anger was growing. "How many graves did you disturb?" We don't know exactly." "Guess?" Admiral Kale looked at his officers. Maybe 10,000. The bridge of Soul's Hammer went completely silent. 10,000 graves, 10,000 humans who had died defending their homes, now disturbed by alien miners looking for metals. "Admiral," Commander Ray said quietly. "Your orders?" Admiral Tay looked at the alien fleet on her screen. Over 200 ships, millions of alien lives. She could destroy them all in minutes. But then she thought about the colony records, the families who had died here, the children who had never grown up. They hadn't wanted revenge. They had just wanted to live in peace on their new world. "You have 10 minutes to get every single alien off that planet," she said finally. "After that, anyone still on the surface will be considered a hostile target." 10 minutes? Admiral Kale looked panicked. "We still have thousands of people down there." "Then you better move fast." Admiral Tay cut the communication. She turned to her crew. "Deploy fighters around the planet. Shoot down any alien ship that doesn't leave immediately, but do not fire on evacuation transports unless they attack us first." "What about the alien fleet?" asked Commander Ray. Admiral Tay watched the alien ships on her screen. They were moving quickly, trying to save their people on the planet. "We wait," she said. "When the planet is clear, we'll decide what to do with them. And if they try to fight us?" Admiral Tay smiled. This time it was not a nice smile at all. "Then we show them why the rest of the galaxy fears human battleships." On the planet below, the last evacuation ships were loading people as fast as possible. Dr. Hana ran toward the nearest transport, carrying her research data. Behind her, human fighters screamed through the atmosphere like metal angels of death. The 10-minute countdown had begun, and everyone knew that when it ended, the humans would take back their memorial world, whether the aliens were gone or not. The 10 minutes felt like 10 hours. On the planet's surface, the last alien transport ship lifted off just as human fighters swept overhead. Admiral Kale watched from his flagship as the final evacuation ship cleared the atmosphere. "All personnel evacuated," reported Captain June. "The planet is clear." But Admiral Kale knew this was just the beginning. The humans had let them evacuate. That didn't mean they were safe. "Admiral," called Commander Yuki, "more ships are arriving." On the screen, space itself seemed to tear open as more human vessels dropped out of hyperspace. These ships were different from the first fleet, bigger, uglier, more dangerous. "What are those?" asked Captain Mina. Elder Nara's voice was barely a whisper. "Siege ships. They're bringing siege ships." Admiral Tay watched the new arrivals from her bridge. The ships were massive, slow-moving fortresses covered in weapons that could crack moons. Behind them came troop carriers and supply ships. "Commander Ray," she said, "status on the Hammer of Justice and Divine Retribution?" "Both planet crackers are in position, Admiral. Ready to deploy on your order." Admiral Tay nodded. Planet crackers were the ultimate human weapon. Ships designed for one purpose: destroying entire worlds that had offended humanity. They had only been used 3 times in human history. Each time, they had turned a living planet into floating rocks. "Admiral," called Captain Wu, "the alien fleet is requesting communication again." "Put them through." Admiral Kyle appeared on the screen again. He looked even more worried than before. "Human Admiral, we have evacuated the planet as requested. We are prepared to begin restoration immediately." "Restoration?" Admiral Tay laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You think you can just fix what you've done. We will do whatever you require," Kale said desperately. "What I require," Admiral Tay said slowly, "is for my ancestors to be properly honored. What I require is for the graves you disturbed to be restored exactly as they were. What I require is justice for 400 years of neglect." She gestured to someone off-screen. A moment later, another human appeared. This was Dr. San, the fleet's archaeological specialist. She was small and looked scholarly, but her eyes were hard as diamond. "Dr. San will explain what restoration means to humans," Admiral Tay said. Dr. Sand stepped forward. Every artifact you removed must be returned to its exact original location. Every grave you disturbed must be rebuilt exactly as it was. Every piece of earth you moved must be put back. Admiral Kale looked confused. That would take years. Yes, Dr. Sand said simply. It would. But we have our own people to think about, protested Captain Bin from the Vorthak fleet. Our own worlds to protect. Admiral Tay's expression turned icy. Should have thought of that before you decided to mine a human cemetery. Elder Nara floated, forward on the alien ship's screen. Admiral Tay, I must ask, what happens if we refuse to help with this restoration? Admiral Tay was quiet for a long moment. Then she turned to Commander Ray. Show them the Corvash system. The screen changed to show an empty patch of space, just rocks and dust floating where planets should be. This used to be the home system of the Corvash Empire, Admiral Tay explained. They made the mistake of attacking human civilians. We made sure they never made that mistake again. The aliens stared at the empty space in horror. You destroyed their entire system, whispered Captain Mina. Every planet, confirmed Admiral Tay. Every moon, every space station, every ship. We left nothing but debris as a warning to others. But that's genocide, said Admiral Kale. That's justice, Admiral Tay corrected. Human justice. Captain, Wu spoke up from his station. Admiral, the alien fleets are powering up weapons. Admiral Tay looked back at the alien ships on her screen. Are you preparing to fight us? We're preparing to defend ourselves, Admiral Kale said. With what? Admiral Tay almost sounded amused. You have 200 ships. We have 57 battleships, 12 siege platforms, and 2 planet crackers. Your entire fleet couldn't destroy one of our siege ships. We have to try, said Captain June, appearing beside Admiral Kyle. No, Elder Nara said firmly. No, you don't. She turned to face Admiral Tay on the screen. Human Admiral, I have lived for over 600 years. I have seen many wars. I know when a fight cannot be won. Then you know what you have to do. Admiral Tay said. We surrender, Elder Nara said simply, but we ask for mercy. Mercy? Admiral Tay's voice was dangerous. You ask for mercy after desecrating the graves of 50,000 humans? We ask for the chance to make things right, Elder Nara said. Not because we deserve it, but because our people don't deserve to die for our mistakes. Admiral Tay studied the old alien. There was something about her that reminded Tay of her own grandmother. A wisdom that came from seeing too much pain. What are you proposing? She asked. We will restore the planet, Elder Nara said. Not in years. We will work day and night, until it's done. We will use all our resources, all our technology, all our people. And after that, we will guard this place. Forever. We will make sure no one ever disturbs your ancestors again. Admiral Tay was quiet for a long time. On her ship, the crew waited for orders. Around her, 56 other human ships waited to unleash destruction on the alien fleet. Commander Ray, she said finally, what's the status of our memorial division? Standing by, Admiral. They have detailed records of every grave site, every monument, every building that was on New Busan. Dr. San, Admiral Tay continued, how long would it take to properly restore the planet with alien help? If they provide full cooperation and unlimited resources, maybe 2 years. 2 years, Admiral Tay repeated. She looked back at the aliens on her screen. 2 years of your fleets working under human supervision. 2 years of following our orders exactly. 2 years of proving that you understand the gravity of what you've done. And then, asked Admiral Kale, then we'll see if you've learned to respect human sacred ground. Elder Nara bowed her head. We accept these terms. I haven't finished yet, Admiral Tay said. There's one more condition. The aliens waited nervously. Every species that was involved in mining this planet will provide hostages. Your best people, your brightest minds. They will live on human ships and work alongside our memorial teams. Hostages, Admiral Kale said slowly. Insurance, Admiral Tay corrected. To make sure you keep your word. And if we refuse any of these terms? Asked Captain Bin. Admiral Tay smiled coldly. Then you'll get to see what a planet cracker can do to a living world. The communication went silent as the aliens discussed among themselves. Admiral Tay turned to her crew. "Begin scanning the planet for detailed restoration requirements," she ordered, "and send word to Fleet Command. Tell them we'll need the Memorial Corps and the construction fleet." "Admiral," Commander Ray said quietly, "are you really going to let them live?" Admiral Tay looked out at the alien fleet. Hundreds of ships full of people who had made a terrible mistake. "They're going to spend the next 2 years learning why humans never forget our dead," she said. "That's a worse punishment than death." On the alien ships, the leaders were making the hardest decision of their lives. Surrender completely to the humans or fight a war they couldn't win. Either way, their lives had just changed forever. 6 months later, the planet looked completely different. Where mining equipment had once torn up the ground, beautiful memorial gardens now grew. Where alien machines had disturbed graves, proper human tombstones stood in perfect rows. Captain Yuki stood in the central memorial plaza wearing a strange device on her head. It was human technology that let her share memories with humans. She was about to experience something no alien had ever experienced before. "Are you ready?" asked Captain Hyun, the human cultural attaché. She was young for a human, but her eyes held the weight of centuries of tradition. "I think so," Yuki said nervously. "Will it hurt?" "No," Hyun said gently. "But you will understand things you never understood before." Around them, thousands of aliens and humans worked together. Altarian engineers used their precise tools to carve memorial stones. Nexari scientists used their advanced scanners to locate every disturbed grave. Vorthak mystics used their mental powers to sense where human spirits still lingered. The memory sharing device activated. Suddenly, Yuki was seeing through human eyes. She felt what humans felt when they looked at graves. The deep sadness for people who died too young. The fierce love for family members they would never see again. The burning determination to make sure the dead were properly honored. "Do you understand now?" Hyun asked. Yuki wiped tears from her eyes. She hadn't known she could cry for humans. "They weren't just people who died," she whispered. "They were someone's children, someone's parents, someone's friends." "Every grave tells a story," Hyun agreed. "Every memorial keeps a promise." Across the plaza, Admiral Kale was working alongside Admiral Tay. The human admiral had stayed to supervise the restoration personally. It was the first time in galactic history that a human fleet commander had worked directly with alien leaders. "The monument is almost finished," Kale reported. "Your people seem satisfied with our work." Admiral Tay studied the massive stone structure. It was carved with the names of every human who had died on New Busan. 50,000 names, each one carefully etched by alien hands. "It's good work," she admitted. "Better than I expected." "We have learned much about human traditions," Kaeli said. "I never knew that remembering the dead was so important to your people." "Everything we do is for those who came before us," Admiral Tay explained. "We explore space to honor the dreams of our ancestors. We fight wars to protect what they built. We build memorials to make sure they are never forgotten." Near the old colony site, Dr. Hana was working with Dr. San to rebuild a human family cemetery. Each grave had to be exactly as it was 400 years ago. "This grave belongs to a family, called the Kim family," Dr. San explained. "Parents and 3 children. They died defending their home." Hana carefully placed a memorial stone. "In my culture, we believe the dead move on to another place. But humans believe they stay here somehow." "Believe they watch over us," Dr. San said. "They guide us. They give us strength when we need it. That's why the mining hurt you so much," Hana realized. "We weren't just disturbing old bones. We were interrupting your connection to your ancestors." Now you understand. On the human flagship Soul's Hammer, Elder Nara was meeting with Admiral Tay. The old alien had volunteered to be one of the hostages. For 6 months, she had lived among humans, learning their ways. "I have a request," Elder Nara said. "What kind of request?" Admiral Tay asked. "I want my people to become permanent guardians of this place, not just for 2 years, forever." Admiral Tay was surprised. "Why?" "Because in 6 months I have learned something important," Elder Nara said. "Humans don't just fight for territory or resources. You fight for meaning, for purpose, for things that matter more than life itself." She gestured toward the planet below. My people need that kind of purpose. We need something worth dedicating our lives to. Protecting your sacred places, that would give our lives meaning. Admiral Tay considered this. What would your people get in return? The honor of serving something greater than ourselves, Elder Nara said, and perhaps friendship with humans. This was unprecedented. Humans had never made long-term alliances with alien species. They preferred to keep to themselves. I would have to discuss this with my government, Admiral Tay said. I understand. But, Admiral, I have seen how humans treat those who earn their respect. It's worth earning. Down on the planet, Captain Mina was supervising the installation of new defense satellites. These weren't alien weapons. They were human-designed systems that would protect the memorial world from any future threats. Why are humans giving us their defense technology? She asked Commander Ray. Because you've proven yourselves, Ray explained. You could have fought us. You could have run away. Instead, you stayed and did the hard work of making things right. But we're still your prisoners. No, Ray said. You're our partners now. There's a difference. As the months passed, something unexpected happened. The aliens working on the restoration project began to understand human culture in ways no aliens ever had before. They learned that humans fought not for conquest, but for protection. They learned that human strength came from their connection to the past and their responsibility to the future, and the humans learned something too. They learned that some aliens could be trusted. Some aliens could be taught to respect what humans valued. Some aliens could become friends. 2 years after the confrontation began, Admiral Tay stood in the completed Memorial Plaza. Every grave had been restored, every monument rebuilt, every name remembered. Captain Yuki approached her. The alien had become the official liaison between the human memorial fleet and the alien guardian ships. Admiral, she said, we have received authorization from our governments. The Altarian, Nexari, and Vorthak fleets will remain here permanently as guardians of New Busan Memorial World. And in return, Admiral Tay asked, in return, we ask only for the honor of protecting something sacred to humans. Admiral Tay looked around the plaza. Alien children were playing respectfully among the memorial gardens. Alien families were learning the stories of the humans who had died here. Alien soldiers were practicing human honor guards. There's one more thing, she said. Every guardian who serves here will receive something special. She handed Yuki a small metal badge. It bore the symbol of the human fleet and words in human language. What does it say? Yuki asked. Honored friend of humanity, Admiral Tay translated. It means you are under the protection of every human in the galaxy. Yuki stared at the badge. It was the first time in galactic history that aliens had been given such an honor. Why? She asked. Because you learned something that most species never learn, Admiral Tay said. You learned that some things are more important than fear. Some things are worth dedicating your life to. Some things are sacred. As Admiral Tay's fleet prepared to depart, she broadcast one final message to the galaxy. Let it be known throughout all space that the New Busan Memorial World is under the protection of humanity and our alien allies. Any who would disturb this sacred place will face the combined wrath of humans, Altarians, Nexari, and Vorthak. The dead will be honored, the living will be protected, and friendship forged in respect will last forever. The human ships jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind a memorial world protected by former enemies who had become friends. And throughout the galaxy, other species heard the message and understood something new about humans. They were dangerous when angry, but they were magnificent when respected. On New Busan Memorial World, the Guardians began their eternal watch, and in the memorial gardens, human and alien children played together among the flowers that grew over the graves of heroes. The war was over, the peace had begun, and the dead rested easier, knowing they would never be forgotten again.